This is Aaron from All That Remains, and you're watching Tattoo.com.
Hey everybody, it's Mischievous Mel, live from ROCKwell UnScene Magazine, Tattoo.com, and Rockwell Radio on the Edge. And I am here in Dallas at the House of Blues, and I am sitting next to All That Remains.
Hi.
Hi. A little more pep, sir. May I have your name, sir?
Aaron Patrick.
And you do what?
I play bass in All That Remains.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I have to give him shit because, he's a great guy, but I've got to be loud and boisterous because it's all madness.
It is all madness.
See what I did there? For those of you that do not know, and if you don't, you obviously don't listen to music, so get your head out from underneath that fucking rock. The new album they got out is Madness, and we've had the opportunity to see you guys perform that, doing all this tours and stuff. You want to tell people about Madness, how it compares to your previous music?
Oh yeah, like the writing process for this was quite a bit different going into it as opposed to previous records. So I think that it came through in the music and everything was. I'm sorry.
No,
That thing's
it's
like
right up in you,
it's
right?
right in my eye socket.
I am so sorry. I have
it's
no
okay.
personal space whatsoever.
I know. You're doing great. Obviously the feel of all the songs is quite a bit different. There's still flavors of ATR in there, but we just took all the things that we already do and just kind of amplified them. So there's just a lot of melody in the record, which I personally like. I like, I don't know. I like a lot of melody, and there's different layers, and I don't know. Each song kind of has its own feel, and each tells its own story. Versus, I think, looking at the order of things in the previous record, which is a great record. I like all the songs on it, but I feel like it all works together. Like the album itself is a unit. Where I feel on this record, each song kind of has its own personality, and I think that's kind of makes it more unique versus the previous records.
Well, I have to confess, like I said, I am a fan, and I love, it is my go-to workout song. It's just like fucking balls to the wall, I mean, it just comes down and it's bam, right in the face. Some of them there's no warming up, and I love that. There's no foreplay; it goes right into it.
Yeah.
So, which is great. I mean, it's you don't have to sit there and wait for it to get good. It just comes at you.
Yeah.
So. I didn't mean to snap my fingers. I feel like somebody's mother scolding you.
Yeah, right.
You're in trouble, sir. So, okay, so you're out on the road. Can you tell us a little bit of a tour story that you might want to share with the crowd that may or may not be PG?
Honestly, there really isn't very much to tell. We are we don't really party that much. For the most of us, you usually get up, and for me and Phil, for instance, we get up, we usually eat, and he and I usually go to the gym. We train for 2 hours, something like that. We come back and we eat and do dishes, and there you go. That's about it. Then we play a show.
Actually, I'm really interested in that side because seriously, you guys beasted up overnight. And I watched the check-ins, and he's like, "Oh, it's a weekday. I'm pressing 425." Who the fuck does that on a bad day? I'm having on tour. When you guys sleep, how do you do this?
Oh, it's actually pretty easy. I mean, the same way of being at home. We're fortunate enough that we have a bus, and I'm usually the one that cooks for everybody. So, we have a rice cooker on the bus, and we have a big 16-inch skillet, and a bunch of other really good tools, in a crock pot. And I'll put on roast and stuff. So we have after show food. It'll cook for 8 hours. So we get groceries every day, and we cook food, and that's a big part of staying in shape and maintaining a healthy. And not only that, for being on tour, it's easy to get sick out here. So when your diet's in check, and you're not just eating pizza and hot wings, which I did have hot wings today, and they're really good. But if you take care of yourself and you feed yourself the right stuff, and your body can respond in a positive way.
And I know it sounds weird me going into this, but a couple of reasons why. One, it's very motivating. Mm-hmm. But two, your music, music inspires. And like I was telling you off camera, there are days I get to the gym where I'm like, just fucking kill me. I can't do this. And I'm not on tour, so I have no excuses. Mm-hmm. But you put that shit in, all of a sudden it's, and I'm like, oh, fuck, and then I'm screaming Madness, and other people probably don't want me to sing it. They probably want Phil to sing it. Yeah. Phil does it better, but,
He's good at it.
It's just cool to hear that because, it's not always about partying, and people don't know what the lifestyle is and how hard it is to stay human and then come back. So now is it easier, do you think, for you guys to acclimate when you get off the road? Since you act more human when you're on.
Yeah.
Say it that, but you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, it's there's comfort in the routine out here, I think. I mean, we've all been doing it for so long that it, it just makes sense. Like we know how we operate, and, we're built to do this, so, but when you go home, it's the same thing. You find your routine and you stick with it, and it's pretty easy, to be honest. Like when you have the time and you have the accommodations, like back in the day, when you tour in a van, it's much more difficult because you're probably not sleeping as well. And you sit in that thing for a 7-hour drive, you feel like hammered shit. It's not good. So, especially as we've gotten older and older, we had like 4 shows last year, and we're like, oh, they're on the East Coast, they're really short drives. Let's just get in a van. There's no reason to get a big bus for all that stuff. So let's just do these 3 shows in a van. I'll tell you what, those like few days felt like a month. Oh, it adds up,
Well, speaking of you being on the road, we saw you guys everywhere last year, which was fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was Las Rajas.
Awesome. That was such a good show.
Oh, what'd you think about it? Because I mean, that was the first one, wasn't it? Wasn't that the first Las Rajas?
I think it was. Yeah. I think the best part for me was just the fact that it's always cool to do shows that are like in the heart of the city, because it feels like you're the event, and it feels like the whole city is there and has an eye on you. And it makes you feel like, whoa, like kind of in the limelight, which is kind of neat sometimes. It's not just they're playing this club somewhere, but when you're in the heart of the city, and then the way it was set up, looking at the stage, you would just see all these buildings and people as far as you could see, and like just the city kind of skyline and everything, and it just felt special and really cool, and it was just awesome to be a part of, and hopefully we can do it. Obviously, we already did it last year, so the next year.
Well, I hope so, because that was a killer fucking show and a killer event. One other question before I get on to your ink. You said, okay, you were the versus playing small stages versus big stages in festivals. What is your favorite one to do, and why?
Well, they each have their own unique feeling behind them. We played a sold-out show last night. I think it was 600-something people there. But the energy is super tight, and people are just singing in your face. I mean, people are literally right there. So
like I am now, really uncomfortable in your face and
we
shit. Right up.
We were at a show right now. We're jamming, and I don't know. You're sweating together, and you're just feeling the energy, and there's just nothing better. You feel like you're really connected. But there's something awesome about playing in front of 10,000 people, and as far as you can see, and it just feels big, and like it's hard to believe that's your life, sometimes. So when you get to do really cool opportunities like that, so they're each special in their own way. Like I don't think one is better than the other. I mean, obviously playing for more people is better, in many senses. But yeah, I don't know. They each have their own moments. There's some venues that around the country, just like last night in Lubbock, we played Jake's, that have those vibes, and we look forward to playing these smaller places because like every time we've been there, the crowd's packed. Those fans, like we have a really awesome fan base in Denver and Phoenix, and there's a lot of other really cool cities, and we get excited to go back because they're so in tune with us, and everybody's singing every single word, and you can't beat that.
I love the color you have. Now
Nice.
It's gorgeous. But I've been sitting here staring at your neck, not just because I'm all up in your grill, but that's gorgeous. So can I start with that
Sure.
one? So what's the story behind it?
Which side is that? Is that hands?
Yes.
Okay, I can't remember which sometimes.
You were gonna ask me left and right. How dare you? I have to do the L.
I know.
Okay.
So the right side I have praying hands, and on the left side I have the Virgin Mary, and then I have I don't remember which side it's on, but that's the last side. So I have the first 2 lines of the prayer, the Hail Mary in Italian, on this side, and the last 2 on this side.
That's
So
cool. Do you
yeah,
want to play those?
sure. My family's from Sicily, so I got an Italian.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, do you plan on getting any more or finishing like that out, like doing back or anything to finish it?
I'm not gonna do my throat or anything. It's just kind of not me, like I like it the way it is. I've never had a need to put anything else there. My back though, yeah, I go back and forth, but I have the top part of it done. But it's such a pain in the ass, and it sucks. It hurts. And then I mean, I hate getting tattooed at this point. I mean, I'm 35 years old. I've been getting it since I was 18 years old. So embarking on some 30-hour journey on my back, like one of the worst places, I just have no interest in it. Even though I would love to get it done, just thinking about it just sounds absolutely terrible. So I probably will never do it.
I love that. I've got socks your age, but whatever. That's all good. That's awesome though. But I'm just really, I love how much like music, ink speaks, and I always want to ask people their story and why they're searching for it, because a lot of people would be scared to put prayer on them. So that's really cool. You did that.
Yep.
All right, now let's go to some down here. Ooh, let's start with the hands.
All right. So I have a severe case of attention deficit disorder, ADD, if you will. So this is honestly one of my favorite tattoos. I got pay attention on my hand, a little reminder. And then I got a blue rose. There's a Sicilian message behind it. You can go on the internet and look it up. And then I got a straight edge tattoo, and then just a bunch of water in background. I got drug free and an X on the arm. Iron Maiden tattoo from Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Yeah.
I gotta see that.
This is my
I used to have that poster on my
family crest up here. It's all faded. I'm sorry. I wish it. They just should probably get it touched up over time. But these are also, once again, I started getting this stuff when I was 19 years old. So when on my 1 year anniversary after we did the record, I got an 8 for All That Remains is for Madness for their 8th record. So I got that. And then my friend Shane and Muncie in Philadelphia, he did that. He's the best. Look him up. And then I got a Misfits guy because they're the best, of course. And then
Not to be creepy, but if you wanted to take that off to show people I'm not afraid. I don't mean it like creepy.
No, that's all right.
You're looking at me like, what?
I'm sitting down. It's not the most flattering angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what about this side?
So this is from a lithograph called Relativity from an artist named MC Escher. I went to art college, and I learned a lot about art, and you come to have your favorites. So I'm sure a lot of people, if you've seen the movie Labyrinth, they kind of based it off of this. So
it's funny you got that, because I was going to get the Escher one where it was the man and the woman.
Oh yeah.
I had that hanging over my bed.
He's so phenomenal. He's like literally, his line drawings and his lithographs are unbelievable. This is from a band called Halloween, German thrash metal band, or power metal, whatever you want to call them. When I was one of the first cassettes I ever bought when I was a kid, it had Halloween on it and Slayer and a bunch of other artists, and they put out what was that song? It's called I'm Alive. And so it's always been one of my favorite bands, and those first two, Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1 and 2, were just phenomenal. So long story short, me and two other friends, we each got pumpkins on our hands, and they all look different for different reasons, but I ended up getting this. So it's kind of a friendship tattoo, kind of a nostalgia tattoo, and and this means Sono Vivo, which means I'm alive in Italian, or Sicilian dialect actually, which kind of goes with that. That's because I got these two done at the same time. So I was like, so I got my silly tattoos, like, well, what I want over here, and I was like, well, the hand's there, so I'll just make it go with it. And then I have Forgive Me, Lord on the side in a little prayer position.
That's very cool.
Because we're all a little naughty sometimes. And and then I get a Sacred Heart in there. And then Cannibal Corpse, Butchered at Birth. All over here. And then I kind of put all the red and the blood in it, and I kind of just tied it all in together through all of this stuff. Kind of make it, because they were obviously done at different times.
Right. Frame it.
And
Don't want it floating.
Yeah. And that's about it for that side. I got a Flower of Life. I toured with Bring Me the Horizon for a year, and then we all ended up getting them together. So I got that up there. And what else you want to see? I got pants on. I didn't wear shorts. My legs are covered.
You're a walking ink pad. That's why I absolutely love that.
I can take them off if you guys want to see the legs.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Don't worry.
I got undies on. I have fun undies on today.
Well, at least you wore some today.
Me and Randy from Lamb of God, we got friendship tattoos. So we got a Death Before Decaf since we both love coffee. So it's BDC, which is Best Dude Crew. Don't get that tattooed on you. It's just for me and him. And our friend Joe, who he blew it and didn't get it. So he's in trouble still. Hank Williams Sr., because he's the best.
That is a beautiful portrait.
Oh, yeah. His name's Vic Back. He tattoos out of Salt Lake City. He's the absolute best. Look him up. I lived in Florida for a long time. And me and my wife got married in Florida. So we went to Key West for our honeymoon. And I'm a Florida boy. I love it down there. So I got my key lime pie and pina colada and palm tree and a sunset. My friend Dre Lee, she did that out in San Francisco. She's awesome. In 2008, I toured with I was in a band called Bury Your Dead, and we did a tour with Five Finger Death Punch and In This Moment. So we each got like a tour tattoo. So the bear for Bury Your Dead, which is silly, and then In This Moment at the time they had like a clock thing for the record, and then the brass knuckle for Five Finger Death Punch. Harry Potter. Second Cup, it's a Canadian coffee company, which is my favorite. Well, it used to be at least, and but I still like them. Me and my wife's anniversary. I got a pizza slice because she's my pizza queen. She loves pizza. And then this is from a company called American Barbell Club. They're a powerlifting company out of Gainesville, Florida. They're awesome. Let's see what else. A Masonic tattoo. And this is from the Bury Your Dead record, Beauty and the Breakdown. I got that shortly after we put the record out. Yeah. And a bunch of stuff from the Crusades and Knights Templar.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I love history and yeah. I really like all that
cool.
stuff. And just big American stuff. I got a Statue of Liberty and red, white, and blue or red, white, and blue, like whatever. Yeah. That's about it.
Very cool. So you were talking a lot about coffee. Have you tried Elfson's coffee? Dave Elfson's coffee?
You know, I haven't. Dave's a good friend of mine, and I've never bothered him to send me coffee, but I probably should. But I've heard it's good though.
First off, you can get Dave Elfson's coffee at 115 West Grand Street, Right, Texas, at the ROCKwell UnScene store. But it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, okay. I'll have to try it out.
And I'll tell you, because I too, like, you cut me open, I bleed coffee, and we were at festivals, and they never had coffee. And the first time I tasted it was Northern Invasion. Was it last year? It was Northern Invasion. Was the first time I tasted.
Here, the Soundcheck and Madness right now.
There you go.
That's for you.
Yay! But it's great. You should try it. And now that I know that you don't have any, we'll gift you some coffee.
Deal. Yeah, he's the best. I've known Dave for a long time, and
it's great. I mean,
we've done a lot of tours together, and he's just one of my favorite people. I love him. He's great.
Very nice guy.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of nice guys, you've been excellent. I've made you
pleasure.
drop trow and
right?
tell me about
I'm that easy.
What happens backstage will not stay backstage with Mischievous Mel and all that remains.
We're not even in Vegas.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, Texas is better than Vegas.
Tex Vegas?
There you go. Oh, I'm so right now. I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my God, they're fucking playing Madness right now. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you, sir.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Thank you so much.